Hey everybody, my next guest is a producer, comedian, actor, voiceover artist, and creator. He's got a lot of big news coming up from his production of The Shoemaker's Son, and his latest film, Scarred Angels, is earning industry buzz, as the same with the series, The Connie Show. He is currently working with me as well on Comic Sans, where he plays the lovable but serious AA sponsor, Jerry. Here he is, folks, the one and only Greg Kritikos. Greg, what's up, man? How you doing, bud?
Don, how are you, man? It's such a pleasure to be back on your show again, and very happy and excited about Comic Sans, man.
Yeah, dude, it's great to see you as well. You've been away for a little bit in Greece, and we're psyched you're back, and we're psyched to get you back on camera for what
Yes.
we're doing, man. With Comic Sans, dude, it's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. I've been in Greece for the last 15 months. I was there for almost close to like 13 and a half months.
Yeah,
I got to tour in Greece. I was doing a lot of shows, all in English speaking comedy shows.
nice.
Uh, I went to Crete. I did Iraklio, Chania. I did what do you call it? Iraklios, Chania, and Ayos Nikolaos. Anyway, these are communities that have a lot of English-speaking people, you know. And then from
Cool.
there, I went to Berlin. I had the first time in my life I went to Berlin, man. It was amazing. I was working with propaganda comedy.
Oh,
And
nice.
yeah, in Berlin, Alexanderplatz. I did like the director's cut. I did a comedy on a barge, but it was exciting, man. You know, European comedy, they crave like New York style comedy. You know what I mean? So it was exciting, man.
That's what I was gonna say because you are a full on born and bred New York guy, Queens guy, Astoria, shout out. And you also got obviously you're Greek, you got big Greek roots. When you go to Greece and you perform for the audiences there, um, do you change up your set or is it the same stuff? You kind of like how much of a do they get a kick out of the New York vibes? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's interesting because there's a couple of comedians that based out of the United States, not from New York though. You know, Carolina and another comedian from Australia. You know, so when
Right,
I
right,
go there, they do a lot of the Greek English type of shows. You know, they mix it up, Greek and English.
right, right.
Uh, you know, as far as I did some shows all in Greek because I also speak fluent Greek. I was born in Greece. A lot of people don't know that. You know, we
Right, yeah.
immigrated to the United States back in 1971.
Right, yeah,
So
yeah.
when I go there and, I touch up on like my experience going back to Greece or leaving and going to the United States, basically I stick to my roots of my comedy, my toolbox. But it's different as opposed to those comedians because, they talk about the feta cheese and the olives and all that. But I'm a
Right.
little bit more different from New
Yeah.
York, you know. So,
Uh,
and for the most part, they were excited. They like it. They want to hear that New York vibe. They want to hear that
yeah.
craziness, you know. They want to hear what's going on in New York, you know. So it's exciting, man.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
So
You got that whole New York vibe happening big time, and you performed before you left the last time around. You were in town and you performed. Me and Tony Walker, we produced a show over at Governor's, and you blessed the stage, killed that night, man. You freaking killed, dude. And
thank
yeah,
you.
you rocked the house, and it's just awesome watching you do your thing up there, man.
Yeah, it's exciting for me. I got into comedy late. I got into comedy at 48 years young. Years ago, I had a lot of opportunities. We've discussed this in the past,
Right,
but I
yeah.
wasn't ready. But now it's like, the comedians say that you have to find your voice. That's the key to comedy. Me finding my voice is just being comfortable on stage, man, and being who I am. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna change for nobody. When I was doing, a lot of comedy with A.G. White, and he was part of
Oh
the whole
yeah, yeah,
P Diddy Bad Boys of Comedy Showtime at the Apollo and all that. He
yeah,
had
yeah.
called me one day, and I've done a lot of urban rooms as well. You know what I mean? And I
Right, yeah.
perform regular at Harlem Comedy Club. I love it. So if I get on stage in Harlem and start talking about feta cheese and olives, they're gonna be like, "What the fuck is this guy talking about?" They're gonna work. So
Right.
I, uh, I stick to the roots. And yeah, it's exciting, man. But I love it. I love being me. Don. You know, and anyway, AG, you know, he always says to me, you know, very, very guy, real dear friend of mine, you know,
Yeah.
just be you and have fun. I remember
Right.
AG like the first time I did Caroline's, I was on his show. He's like, yo, G, just have fun, man. You know, because if I get on stage worrying about what the audience is gonna think and all that shit, you know, I'm gonna just cock block myself. You know what I mean? That's the way I see it. You know.
No, I think you nailed it when you mentioned about, comedians have to find their own voice. I think you, as a writer and as a creative already before you took the stand-up stage, you already kind of knew who you were and knew what your voice was, and you are just yourself up there. You're pretty much the same guy on and off stage, and you're just always, funny, always interesting, and I just think, and two, you have a way that you capture attention. You know what I mean? Once you enter the stage, people are interested in you. You have an allure about you. You know what I mean? That's something you can't learn or teach. You just have to
Right.
have it. You have it,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, I appreciate that, and I thank you for that. And I'm very animated too. I like my animations. You know, it's not only having a premise for me anyway. I'm not speaking for other comedians. It's not only having a premise or having that timing. You know, that is all needed. You know what I'm saying? It's in the nucleus of all comedy, but comedy's golden. You don't have to talk. I mean, look at Charlie Chaplin for so many years. He was so
Yeah,
animated, very funny. So when I do the animations and the looks and the facial expressions and all that, and then I throw in my voice, with that New York thing,
yeah,
I
yeah.
got this joke now that people are always telling me, "Oh, what's the first thing I should do when I get to New York, Greg?" I'm like, "Get out of our way." Get out of our way. I mean, these people, like, they walk around like they're in fucking space. Yeah, you
That's
know,
true,
and I tell them, you ain't got to go to this. You don't have to go to the museum, man. Just take the MTA.
right?
That's all you have
Exactly.
to do. It's free. Must The MTA stands for must torture all. That's what it is. You haven't lived until you take the New York City subway, Don.
Exactly. If it's your first time in New York, you get on the MTA, you're gonna get the full New York experience in like two stops.
Yeah, man. I was taking the metro in Greece, which is their MTA, and you can eat off their floors, man. They're
Wow,
so
dude,
clean.
yeah.
They don't have like winos and drunks and bumps, you know. I mean, just the other day, it was funny. I just, if you don't mind, I'm on the train and like, this, you know, panhandler, beggar. Back in the day, they were cool. I mean, like, not cool. Who's cool being a panhandler? But they'll be like, you got a quarter. Now these days, they're like, yo, you got a couple of bucks, man. And they have attitudes, bro. I had one guy hit me up. He's like, yo, you got $5? I was like, who the fuck are you? Do I know you, man? I'm like, I don't even, like, he approached me like, hey, what's up? I go, you got $5? I'm like, I got $5. Not for you, though. You know what I'm saying? But
Ah, yeah, that's
so
hilarious.
it's hilarious. And so I get on the train, and this guy gets on the train, Don, and he's like very calm, and he's like, "Hey, can you help me out? Please, I would appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? I'm struggling. I'm going through some bad times." And everybody's just not even paying attention to this guy. He's just like from one cart. From one side of the cart, or walking through it, he's like, "Well, God bless you. God bless you. Thank you anyway. I'm hungry, whatever." I pull out $1 and I gave it to him. Sometime being my story. I'm in sobriety and all that. I hate giving people
Right,
money because they might get high with it. But I'm on the
right,
train.
yeah,
I can't take him anywhere to buy him food. So I
right,
give him a
right.
buck, and he's like, "Thank you so much." And he's like, "God bless you. God bless you." He gets to the end. He turns around and he goes like this. "Well, fuck all you motherfuckers, man. You don't want to give me nothing. You look, I ain't robbing your ass. You understand me, motherfuckers? Sitting over there, not even paying attention to." He's going on and on, walking
Wow.
back now. He gets back to the state and then he turns around again. He's like, "God bless everybody. Thank you." Yo,
Bipolar, man.
yo, bipolar, which, like, years ago, bipolar, now they have a word for it. You have to pay now for bipolar. Years ago, you were just an asshole. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Now it's like you
Exactly.
got to pay to be bipolar.
Exactly, man. Yeah, you talk about doing the urban shows in AG White, and AG White's he's known for that. He's like one of those kind of like a white comic who made it earns
Jewish,
his
yeah.
bones in the urban scene, and there's quite a few guys like that. And what would you say like is the biggest difference, of the audience wise, as far as like how you got to approach the material from a white crowd versus a urban crowd?
You know, One thing that I've learned about urban crowd, they sit right in your face and they look at you, man. If you're not funny, you're gonna know. You'll be like, you know. if you're gonna do urban comedy, you can't get on stage. You go, well, I went to the supermarket and I was kind of like thinking maybe I could get some chicken, but I don't know. You know, they'd be
Right.
like, "What you know, I worked with AG, I worked with Mark the Matt, Jamie Roberts, Brooklyn Mike,
Yeah,
all these
Brooklyn.
guys, man, and they talk about real life situations, things that are taking place in life. You know what I'm saying? Hardcore shit. You know what I mean? Obviously, they've been brought up differently. Growing up in the hood and all that,
Right, yeah.
but you got to find that niche that works for you. You know what I mean? That's what
Right.
I think it is. But yeah, urban crowds are tough, man. Some of the easiest crowds to make people laugh at, I think, is in Long Island. Believe it or not, man.
Right, yeah, yeah.
When you do the circuit in New York City, man, you get a lot of tourists and stuff. They come on there, and some of them are just forced to get in there by the barkers.
Right, yeah, yeah.
So
Bring him in here.
they're
Walk
like
around
they're
Times
sitting
Square.
in there. They're sitting in there. A lot of these guys that are like selling tickets, they're like, "Yeah, Chris Rock will be there." They come in there like, "When's Chris Rock coming?" Like, "Dude, I don't know you, Chris." But yeah, yeah, urban rooms are tough, man. They're not easy. You know what I'm saying? But I have fun doing them. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Yeah.
Yeah, so that's awesome because to me, if you're able to conquer all the different audiences and different rooms, and that's why working in the city and in the boroughs is a great stomping ground to really cut your teeth as a comic or to really grow as a comic because you're working with so many different types of personalities, different types of audiences, and you're not just getting like the same old. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I mean, I did Salsa con Fuego in the Bronx, which was like the number one comedy show on a Tuesday night live in America. This place was huge, man. And they had some big names, very famous names perform there. And I was in the lineup with Rob Stapleton. He put me up there. He couldn't even
Nice.
pronounce my last name, man. He's like, "What's your last name?" I was like, "Kritikos." He's like, "What's that?" I was like, "Fuck it, it's a last name, bro. What's that?" He's like, "Can't even pronounce my shit." Anyway, I'm getting on stage and my opening line is like, I'm walking on stage and all these motherfuckers are looking at me like, who's letting the Uber driver on stage? It's like, yo.
That's great. Yeah, man, and you take you're taking what you like this kind of who you are, like you said, your persona is really kind of who you are, and you work that into another gift is you're able to work that into your characters, which brings the characters a dimension that's like you know more than anticipated. Like you bring so much to the scene. Like even with the Comic Sans, you're playing Jerry, the kind of the sponsor for Billy's character, which is my character. It you bring so much to it just by being yourself and your experiences and your life experiences and all that kind of stuff. Kind of take me through the the approach to acting that you take, like when you get do a character like this, that you bring more dimensions to it than what's on the
Right.
paper. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, firstly, I'd like to say, as an actor, for me, it's always reacting to the other actor, and working with you has been a blessing because I admire your acting ability and your writing and all that, and it comes
Thanks.
easy and natural. In this particular case, when you approached me about playing this character, I was really psyched because it's part of my life. You know what I mean? So
Right, yeah,
being in sobriety, I've sponsored, I've been a sponsee and so forth, Uh, but yeah, I think, for me, it's always taking a piece of me, my experiences, taking it and applying it and bringing it out in a very creative form, So, one of the good scenes that we had was when I had you up against the wall in my apartment, when we
yeah,
were shooting, and your character is so colorful because, like, your character is so fucked up. He's laughing, but deep down, he's crying. He's in a
right,
lot of
yeah,
pain because that's what it's all about. You know what I mean? But it gives me the ability to come free with it and tap into my experiences and just bring it out in a very, exciting way of, like, expressing myself, in front of the camera.
right.
So yeah, yeah, I love the character, and I'm very, really super psyched about Comic Sans, and it's an amazing series, and I see all the work that you and Tony's doing, and shout out to Tony
Yeah, shout
Walker.
out to Tony Walker. He's been
That's
incredible on this thing, and he's in front
yes,
both both sides of the camera as well. He's in front of it and behind the
Yes,
scenes.
yes, yes. That miserable bald fuck. I'll give him a shout out. I love Tony. But
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, and it's exciting to see this whole thing unfold. Especially again for me, I have a lot of experience in this. So to watch a comedian, in the sizzle reel, you're like, you're beating the fuck out of your steering wheel. You're just like, bang, bang, you go fucking nuts. You're like, okay, let's go to comedy now. You know, it's fucking brilliant, man.
Yeah.
It's brilliant because comedians are fucked up, man. For
Yeah.
the most part, we're jaded. We want that audience. We want people to like, accept us for who we are, and at the same time, we show the our nuttiness, our craziness. You know what I mean? But we make people laugh, and that's a very funny scene. The way you're like, you're expressing yourself.
Thanks, man. That means a lot. And yeah, that's what I love about writing about comedians and comedy and all that kind of stuff is because the comedians are definitely layered people. There's layers upon layers of all kinds of stuff, and I think, Lenny Bruce said, comedy is just pain plus time equals comedy. So I think it's the ability for people because I think we all experience pain, comedian or not, but it's the comic who can make it funny. That's where
Right?
the difference is, and that's where I think the little twist is that we're taking on these tragic things or this bad shit and finding a punchline in it, making it funny, and then once you make it funny for the audience, then it almost takes the edge away. You know what I mean? So you're helping
Yeah.
people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, laugh with life, not at life.
Right.
You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? So when you get to that, and I remember doing. I have a lot of fat jokes because I was weighing 385 pounds at one point in my life, and
Right. Yeah.
and and I was doing Dangerfields. I was headlining over there, and I remember Tony. He was watching my set, and at the end of the set, he came up to me and he complimented me on one of the punchlines. He said, "Yo," he goes, "I heard that." And he goes, I almost fell off my chair." And the joke was like, I was describing myself. I'm like, sweating and all that at 385 pounds. And I paused and I'm like, very hard to take a shower when you're 385 pounds. The cheeseburger gets wet. So he
That's good.
So he liked it, and I mean, this is a guy that worked with the Rodney Dangerfield's partner for years, man. You know
Wow,
what I mean?
man.
And to get that compliment, but he get it, he understood it, he got it. He's like, he said, "Wow, Greg, he goes, you lost a lot of weight and all that," and we make fun of it, we laugh with it. You know what I'm saying? We take it and we laugh with it. You know what I mean? And
Right
and
on.
that's the beauty of comedy, and that's why some of the funniest people have been through a lot of pain in their lives, man.
Exactly, man. And that's what I think is a beautiful thing is that, when you're able to, when you're a creative person, you're able to take the pain and make light of it or make a joke out of it or make material out of it. You're winning. You're winning life in that way because you're taking the hardest parts and you're like your shield is, to make it funny or to make it into content or some shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. And when I was writing Scott Angels, and I really enjoyed uh casting you as the Fat Man because it was
Yeah.
brilliant. The way and and the character that you portrayed, he was a very angry drunk and stuff like that. So you could tell that he had some pain at one point in his life. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
And but the thing is, like when we get you in the room, and me and Noah Forrest obviously is in that movie, and
Yeah, shout out to him
and
too.
and 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 you transition into playing like you're all serious. You're like very resentful. You're like you gotta find out who the hell we are, and then we do that thing. I don't want to give too much away, but the point I'm trying to make is that whether it's comedy, stand up, or whether it's art, see, I feel a comedian can be an actor, but actors can't be comedians. It's very hard for an actor to be a comedian.
Dude, I
So,
totally agree with that.
right. So, as a writer, when you're writing, and when I was writing that character and I thought about you, I was like, yo, this is a great fucking, I know you can kill it. I didn't know until I actually witnessed it and I saw you portraying that in Scarlet Angels. You played an amazing role, which, by the way, we did put that in a couple. I haven't even scraped the surface with that movie to actually put it in major film festivals yet because
Right,
I've been
yeah.
overwhelmed with so many different things going on. You know what I'm saying? With my stand up, my Shoemaker Son, which I'm really excited about.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I am super stoked about Scarlet Angels because the people that I've showed it to, they loved it. They loved your acting. They loved everything. You know, it's so it's fun when you're writing and you're using whatever it is, pain, laughter, everything, and just mold it into something, shape it, polish it, and then put it out there for people to see. I think it's exciting, and that's what I love doing.
Right on, man. And yeah, you mentioned about that comedians could be actors, but actors can't necessarily be comedians. And I agree. And that's why I love actors too. Any actors watching this, I love actors. I respect the acting and all that stuff. But when it comes to what I'm doing, which is the Comic Sans film and working with comedians, I think it's comedians have a lot more range. They could be funny and they could also know how to be dramatic because I think deep down inside there is that drama, there's that seriousness inside of
Absolutely.
deep in there, and it all comes out. And and then also, have you ever seen an actor like Tom Hanks in that movie Punchlines and try to do stand up? It's
Yeah.
painful. So if you're gonna have the actual comedy and they're gonna do stand up, you have to have a real stand up.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt about it. And again, I really believe that like when you actors, I've worked with a lot of actors, and they applaud comedians. I have actor friends that tell me all the time. They're like, Greg, man, he goes, I don't know how you do it. You gotta. I go, well, you're doing it in front of the camera, but it's different when you're in
Right.
front of a live audience, you know what I mean? And I love theater also, when I did the Shoemaker's Son and I really get into that character and I do other characters as well. It's fun. However, the difference is that, and this is the tricky part that I think about theater is that, the people that are watching you have no idea if you went offline, if you forgot certain things, and then you just kind of like work it back in there. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
Improv, and
Right.
all that. And where in camera, the director or the writer, if they're there, they'll be like, do it over again. He didn't say the lines correctly and do that. In theater, it's like right there and then. You got to go with it, especially in comedy. If you got that moment. You're delivering your premise or your punchline or your whatever it is. If it doesn't go, according to what you thought, you know, you don't really like say, "Oh shit, I fucked up,"
Right. Yeah. You can't.
which could be a punchline also. You know what I
Right.
mean? Necessarily, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like if I'm like in Germany, I said something. It was pretty funny. It was a New York joke type of thing, and they didn't get it. And I was like, "Well, fuck you then," and the whole room started laughing. I think the joke was, which was pretty funny. It was like you never hear the word Idaho in New York City. Very rarely do you hear the word Idaho. The only time you hear it is when a prostitute's confessing, you know. And I said,
That's funny. Idaho.
I said that. I said that joke in Idaho, by the way, also. And you can hear a pin drop, and then one guy in the back of the room was like, "Oh, oh," like he got
Right.
it. He goes, "Idaho," and my punchline was like, "Thank you for explaining the joke."
There you go.
You
That's what
know?
you got to do. Oh, that's hilarious, man. But yeah, like I'm glad to see that the Shoemaker's Son is starting to make some movement because I went and saw it live when you performed it in Astoria like last year, I think, or a year or so ago. It was
Yeah.
so powerful, dude, and it's your story of your life, so it's real, and to get to see that on stage and your acting was phenomenal. The whole play, the layout of it, just everything about it was fantastic, and your trials and tribulations and all the things that you've gone through. So I'm really psyched to see that it's making some noise. So tell me what's cooking with the Shoemaker's Son now? What's going on?
Well, the good part about the Shoemaker's Son is that it's obviously it's a one man show, and I written that for me doing performing my one man show, and I did it twice at the Hellenic Cultural Theater.
Yeah.
It's also the title of my pilot of Stories from Astoria, which is a television series that I've been working on. And I have like a whole bunch of, I have lookbooks, I have treatments, I have a lot of stuff. And now actually I could go out and start presenting it, and showing it to people. And I'm working. The Shoemaker's Son has been, I'm working with Fanye Network, Trap Entertainment, Sybil Draper, which is a dear friend of mine. You know,
Oh yeah.
she's been in marketing for over 22 years, and she was a wife of the late Pow Wow from Soul Sonic Force. I don't know if you remember the song Planet Rock.
Oh
Planet Rock.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's Powwow from the Bronx. That's his wife,
Oh wow.
and she was helping out with Soul Sonic Force. She was part of the Zoo Nation, and her and I, she's been following my career for like 14, 15 years, and we never really had an opportunity to connect, and now we did. So we're rolling it out. It's going to be on Roku. It's coming out on August 2nd, the commercial. They're advertising it, and we have a theater on the west side, off theater, which is on 58. And I don't want to say too much, but it's going to be an off Broadway show. And this time around, what's cool about it is that I'm actually in the cast. I'm going to have like
Nice.
4 or 5 actors that are going to be part of the one man show. I've done it twice where I do all the characters, but
Right.
now there's going to be certain situations of the play where somebody appears on stage and does this character.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
yeah, man. So very exciting times. I'm very excited. I went back in there and I retouched the script, for the characters and all that. And we had a couple of auditions in the city in Manhattan. It went very well. We have a lot of people that are very excited. And yeah, the Shoemaker Sun is really coming to life. I'm super excited and soaked up, I'm saying, about it. So between the Shoemaker Sun, Scarred Angels, uh, with you, obviously, with Comic Sans and my
Yeah.
stand up and all that, exciting times, like you like to say always, you know what I'm saying? It's really
Yeah.
fun. I think, living our dream and loving what we do and going for it. You're not going to sit back and just think everything. You're a producer and a writer, Don, and you're also a very talented actor. You know as
Right
well as
back at
I
you.
do
Yeah.
that if you don't go out there and make ripples and make noise, ain't nothing going to happen. You know what I mean?
Right.
And if you're part of a good networking system, like I like to say, a rising tides uh, lifts all ships. In
Yeah.
other
Yeah.
words, so we all work together, and if something pops off, it's great. You know what I'm saying? And for the most part, there's a lot of things that are popping off right now. I'm super excited. You know what I'm saying? And on your end with Comic Sans, again, man. I love that show. I watched the sizzle reel. I send it out to a lot of my friends. They're like, "Yo, when is this coming?" I'm like, "Well, we're in production right now. We're filming episodes."
Yes, indeed. Yeah, we're trying to get it shot. We're going to film your scenes, hopefully either next week or soon, as soon as we get green lit on the location. And then, but yeah, we're looking to hopefully have a premiere by November, if knock on wood, if we're able to get all the stuff in the can, and then I'll just edit it.
Yeah.
Um, And then, but that's what like, you talk about you got to constantly be out there hustling to
Right.
make it happen. That's one of the
Yeah.
things that I definitely admire about you as well, because you always are constantly creating, you're writing, you're doing comedy films, your live shows. You never stop. You even when you travel, when you're in Greece or Germany, you're still continuing and you're just rocking it and making shit happen. So man, and that's not easy to do that, to keep that motivation. What keeps you, where's that fire coming from in your belly?
Yeah. You know something? It's funny because I was interviewed in Greece on a TV show, and they were asking me about that. They were like, like you have a lot of energy and all that, and I was explaining to them, for a long time, being on drugs and alcoholism and all that, and really being in bad depression. You're really like locked into this dark space, and then suddenly it's like you get the key, the willingness, and the door opens up. Suddenly
Right.
you see light in this dark room, and you want to go out there and you enjoy the light. The light is bringing you new feelings, new ambitions. I feel like I'm reborn, like I have a brand new life, man. And I can't even believe it that I'm up to 15 years and 4 months in sobriety. It's been 15 years and 4 months
God
since my
bless.
last drink. Thank you. And
Yes.
and but I see funny all the time. I see drama. I see funny. My past. I've been to prison back in 1988 and all that. But for the most part, it's like day to day. I see funny things all the time. And even the shakedown. Like I have close to 12 sketches that I've actually put up on YouTube. That you see,
Right.
like
Yeah.
funny sketches, and
Yeah.
the slice. When I did the slice, Greg the Greek, that
Yeah.
went crazy viral with Ben Rosenfeld and all that. And we
Right.
turned took the slice and we turned it into a pilot, which was like we got a little bit of a budget and we shot it,
Yeah.
and George Fuaxis is one of the producers on that, and
Shout
Tony
out to
Walker's on
George.
it. Tony
Yeah.
Walker's the guy that brings me the cheese. He plays
He's
a fucking great role. Tony Walker's fucking hysterical,
selling
He can't,
cheese.
yeah, and we and it's like it's about an angry pizza guy and he has no cheese. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It can't get better than that. You know what I mean? And so, like, I grew up in Guardios, of course, you're from, and I remember like seeing some things that take place. Because I was like very close to them for years, and there was a guy that used to work here. He was a very angry guy, man, very angry guy, and one day I was online and there's this vegan fucking hysterical. And he's like, well, I don't like this. And the guy's like rolling his eyes, man. And in my mind, I'm like, fucking, like, who cares if you're a vegan? I couldn't give a fuck if you're Venezuelan. And, I said that in my mind. And I actually put that in the fucking comedy sketch later on, that
Nice.
went viral. And I had like thousands of Venezuelans like, why? What did we do to you? I said nothing. It just rolled nice off the tongue. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
And it's just like this annoying hipster that's questioning pizza. And that's how it came to life. I did the sketch. It went crazy viral. We went like
Yeah.
5 million views on Facebook.
Yeah.
TikTok were close to like 12 million, whatever. And we said, yo, we got some. We have like lightning in a bottle. And director Mike Williams, him and I worked together on writing the pilot. And we got a whole bunch of comedians as well. I got a bunch of comedians in it, and we shot it and we did it. And now we have that too. And that's going to be going out there as well. You know what I mean?
Right. Dude,
So I think it's like you get the product, but then what do you do with that product? That's the
exactly.
most important thing. A lot of people they don't really take the product and put it out there, and that's part of marketing, and that's what I'm doing right now with Seville Draper.
Right.
And,
Right.
and she does all the marketing for the Shoemaker Son and all that, and people are hearing about it because it's not only me as a producer making a poster, Don, and saying, "Hey, everybody, come out and support me." No, now you're marketing to the people that identify with this young kid that came, from overseas. He was a little fat. He couldn't speak English. It was challenging for him. You know what I'm saying? And then he
Right.
grows up. He starts drinking, drugging, goes to prison, becomes a comedian. So it all comes together, and that's what marketing is.
Yep.
So yeah. So I could produce, but there's only certain things that I could do. After that, it's like, okay, what's the next step now? How do you get it out
Right.
there?
How do I get it to the next level? Yeah, that's right.
Right, because there are so many things that are just on the shelf.
Yep.
On the shelf, you know what I mean? But however, most of them they're not done. They don't finish them.
Right.
You with Comic Exchange, you're putting it together, man. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I'm writing the Connie show. We have episodes. We got to film them. You know, so it's a constant thing of working, and I love it. It's not
Yeah.
work for me. It's fun.
Right, exactly, man. And you got all your projects are always gold, but you talk about like the pizza one, right? The first thing that you did, um, that really went viral.
Yeah.
And you look now, I don't know if you on your Instagram feed, but I got all these. It seems like every pizza shop in like has their own little Instagram page where they're doing similar shit to you. I feel like you set a trend, inadvertently somehow to have like this angry pizza guy who tells off all the people. Like it's every like I don't know about maybe 6 or 7 different pizza shops are in my Instagram feed doing that same stuff.
Right. Yeah. There's it's like yeah. I remember when I went to Spokane. I started doing um like in my comedy, I talk about how different life was when I was a kid. Like I was around before beepers. You know what I'm saying? Now
Right?
I'm
Yeah. Yeah.
63 years old.
Right. Yeah.
So and I one of my jokes is about, all these like people now, they're taking snapshots of their dicks and they're calling them dick pics and they're pressing buttons and these dicks are flying across the country. And I said the punchline is like, we didn't have smartphones. We delivered the dick in person. It was called flashing. It
Right.
wasn't. You know what I mean? So when
Exactly.
I left, comedians were calling me, telling me, "Yo, people are doing dick pic jokes now that you left." And I'm like, "Okay, so what am I gonna do?" You know what I'm saying? There's nothing
Right.
I can
Right.
do. So you put an idea, you get it out there. But for the most part, I like the fact that whatever. Maybe I inspired some people when they see but people love that character, Don. You know, they
Yeah.
love that angry guy. You know, he's over there sweating in the kitchen, whatever. Now you got some nerdy, like little hipster going, "Where do you source your tomato sauce from?" And I'm like, "For my fucking grandmother, right? You fuck. She was out there fucking, you know what I'm saying? It's like, what the fuck is your problem? You know what I mean?
So true, man. No, but yeah, like you said, sometimes the ideas once you put them out in the universe, like if people are gonna spin off it or be inspired by you, there's not much you could do really. You just got to kind of roll with it and take the nod and and be like, all right, okay, I see what you're doing there. But it's that's the scary part about putting out material sometimes is you don't want people to kind of take what you're doing and spin off of it. So it's kind of a tricky thing, the marketing side of it.
Yeah, you're right. Shouldn't be while I'm eating my banana.
That's all good.
Um, yeah, I mean, there's nothing really you could do. I mean, comedy's been around forever. You know what I mean? So people take things and twist them around or whatever the case is. You know what I mean?
Right.
I had this comedian, I don't want to say her name, but we did a show for many years. And she had a big problem with a very famous female comedian that supposedly um, she would claim that she stole her material. And this
Yeah.
person that stole her material became famous. So one day we're sitting there and I said, "So let me get this right. So you had great material, but you couldn't use it to make you better, and somebody came along, took your material and made it better. Like, I don't get it. Like, what are you trying to say? She took your writing and made it better." And she's
Right.
like, "Look, fuck you. I don't mean it like that." I was like, "No, I'm just saying, like, not that it's okay to like." Who's that comedian that was known for stealing a lot of jokes, and then
Oh,
somebody Rogan, I think, went on
yeah,
stage and
Carlos
abused?
Mencia. Yeah, Carlos Mencia.
When I did the Bing Crosby Theater, okay. And I did the Bing Crosby Theater on a Saturday night. I was there, and then Sunday night, Charles Murphy was there too. Eddie Murphy's brother. He's a
Yeah.
funny motherfucker,
Oh,
man.
he's awesome. Yeah. God
Yeah,
bless.
Tony.
Rest in peace. Yeah.
Yeah, when I met him, I was like, "Yo, cocaine's a motherfucking drug, Charlie, motherfucking drug." He started laughing. He's like, "Yo, yo." So, but Mencia, whatever, he was there. I think a couple of months. The second time around when I went there, he did a show over there, and people were hating on him, talking about even on social media, how he's robbing jokes and he's doing all this shit. And that guy made it big at one point. He was on Comedy Central.
Yeah,
He
he
had
was
these
huge.
sketches,
Yeah.
huge, and made a whole living out of that. You know what I mean? So listen, our job is to make people laugh. Do I agree with? No, of course not. But like, I'm 63 years old. I've seen a lot of shit, man, a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I was a kid, man, we used to talk about Chinese food,
Right.
all that. And then I came up with that joke, about I asked an Asian woman about, let's do a 69, and she looked at me, she's like, "Shrimp and broccoli at this hour?" I'm like, well, what happens? Like, I did that joke, and then I've heard that joke from other people. Say, "P, what am I gonna do? Go up to them and say, 'Yo, it's my joke'?" You know what I mean? I don't
Right.
know,
Yeah.
maybe. But listen, man, we're in a doggy dog world, man, and especially with social media now, with the why. I don't even know what's real anymore, Don.
I know,
I
right?
go on, I go on Instagram, AI, all this shit. You see these fucking like, and everybody's posting AI, AI. It's all
Yeah.
bullshit, man.
Yeah. You don't
Now,
know what to
from what I
believe.
understand, I'm sorry to interrupt you. You could take somebody's picture, take another person's picture. Well, you're an editor, and then make a short movie out of it, all out of AI. I mean,
Yeah.
are they are like film festivals accepting these things? They can't be accepting these things.
I don't know. I'm not sure, but and I haven't really seen a full-on AI acted film yet, but I know that they're definitely doing it. Like you see a lot of them like it would be like a talking head guy like, "Hi, welcome to you know, and just talk about his product. Like let's
Right.
say he's talking about, this ginger ale is it's on sale this weekend. It's like that kind of stuff, but like a full-on acted movie I haven't seen yet.
Yeah, I've seen commercials on Instagram where like, "Hey, you can take my picture and your picture and do like a quick 5-minute movie, like a 5-minute like quick movie,"
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and it's like, okay, if you and I were to shoot a 5 minute quick movie of like having a shootout at a casino with a helicopter, that would cost like about $10 million. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now with AI, you can just fucking upload it, and then you next thing you know, you're like, wait a minute, what the fuck? You
Yeah, we
know?
have like a space movie. Yeah, we're flying through in a spaceship through the stars, and we're having a space battle. We can make that happen now too. Yeah,
I know, it's
it's
fucking
crazy.
crazy, man. It's fucking nuts.
It is, and AI just keeps getting better and better, and that's why I'm like, there's no getting around AI. It's gonna be there no matter what. So you just got to utilize it as a tool and see what how it could benefit, like us as filmmakers, how it could help us out. But as far as replacing actors and stuff, I don't think I would ever want to go that route. Like me as a filmmaker, I don't think I would ever, be like, oh, you know what? We can't get Brad Pitt, but I could make Brad Pitt AI version.
Right. Yes. I think there's a nap. Somebody was telling me that he wants to use it. I was like, what? He's like, anyway, he says that you could actually pay to have a known actor say something in your movie. Like obviously you're not gonna talk to the actor, but there's
Right,
apps that you could take, which is all fucking bogus, you know what I'm saying? I mean, me personally, I'd rather go with raw talent, you know what I'm saying, and whatever. And then if you get the budget, you do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying?
right.
So that's what it's all about.
Yeah, because
You
you're
know?
like me. You're a storyteller, so you just want the right actor to help you tell the story. You don't necessarily need a star or
Yes,
you know.
yes. And I remember when I was doing Squad Angels, and you called me, and Benny, shout out to Benny
Shout out to
Rizzuti.
Benny Rizzuti. Yeah,
You know, and it's funny when I watch the system, really like great comedy, then it's bad comedy, and you have Benny on stage. It's so fucking Benny's so funny. I love Benny,
I love
and
Ben.
you're
I
like,
actually cleared that with him before I did that. I was like Benny because he played in Comic Sense. He did play like a hacky comic, so I said, just so you know, this isn't a shot at you. This is your character. I just wanted
yeah,
to make sure
yeah.
he knew that before he saw that and didn't.
Right, because Benny could take that and run with it. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Next thing
yeah.
you know,
Next thing I know,
and
he's pissed at me. Yeah.
yeah, he's pissed off, and it's funny. So anyway, when you called me up, and I had all the characters in my mind, because when I'm writing a movie, I have the character, and then as I'm writing the character in my mind, I'm like, okay, this is cool. Like I know a lot of actors, you know. So I don't know if we talked about this. Obviously, I don't think we had. So when we did the trunk scene, you were like, Greg, man, I don't know. You were like, and I
That
was
was
like, I called George. I was like, yo, man, fucking Don is really sweating on the fucking. And George's like, don't worry about it. We'll keep it open. I said, yeah, I told him. And then Don's like, listen, maybe we could switch characters. I could do Benny's character and Benny could do my. I was like, what? It's not going to fucking work. And now when you see the movie, you see what I'm saying? Benny
yeah,
could
yeah.
never play that character.
No,
You know?
I'm glad we kept it the way we did, and yeah, I was just had like claustrophobic about getting into like the trunk and being locked in there. I was just freaking out, but yeah, you guys were great to work with on that, and then when I saw the guy who the DP the guy who filmed it, great guy. I can't remember his name, but
Yanni.
Yanni.
Yanni, right.
He just jumped right in the trunk, like, yeah, close. And he's like doing it like 4 or 5 different times. So then it kind of eased my mind. I'm like, all right, if he could do it, then I could do it. And so shout out to Yanni for
Yeah, man. No, I
you know,
applaud you, man. I think it was great. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, people have phobias, man. And that was fucked up. I mean, the dark joke was to close the fucking trunk on you. That would have been fun. Fucker.
I would have freaked out. But please
Oh
let
my
me out of
god.
here.
I know. Listen, I've been in situations where fucking an elevator got fucking like it bumped hard and it just stopped and then
Oh,
like all the lights and I was like, I fucking started freaking out.
yeah,
Thank
yeah.
God that after like a minute, it just boom, the light went back on.
Right.
That's a scary fucking feeling, man.
Yeah, man, being trapped. Yeah, that's what's
Wow.
freaks me
You know
out.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm back in New York. I'm gonna be back for a while now. And I know we talked about the possibilities of doing a Zoom shot or whatever it was, like on FaceTime shot, whatever it was the character. But one of the things when I came back, because I'm working on numerous stuff and plus I got some personal things I gotta take care of, I was really excited that I'm here and now I could shoot in person,
Dude,
with Comic Sans, you know what I'm saying?
we're
So
we're stoked that you're back in town and that you're able to film this thing because now we could, get the scene out of, kind of you know, get another dose of Jerry the character in this thing. So that's huge. and yeah, hopefully we could pull that off soon. Yeah, man, just a lot of good stuff happening between Comic Sans and all the projects you got going on. And then hopefully, if you're still here, when we're doing, I think we have a show booked, another production in either September or October. I got to talk to Tony, but we have a show, and we definitely, if you're
Oh, you got
around,
the date already for the stand-up
I
show?
think Tony has a date. Yeah, I think I forget if it's September, or October, but either way, we'll let you know. And if you're still in town, we
Oh
would
yeah,
love
for
to. Yeah,
sure. No,
yeah,
I'm gonna be in town because I'm taking care. I came back. I'm actually selling some property that I have, and so it's gonna take a little while. You know what I'm saying? So I'm
gotcha,
gonna be
gotcha.
back for a while, which like because I got half of my stuff in Greece right now.
Right, yeah, yeah.
And it was funny because I always think about the stuff part. With what's his name, George Carlin. I don't know if you ever caught
Oh
that
yeah,
bit with the
yeah.
stuff. You got stuff here,
I
you
need,
got
yeah, I
me
got
down,
my
stuff
stuff.
everywhere.
Yeah, I need a bigger place for my stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, like I left my stuff here and then I took some stuff to Greece. And then from Greece, I had an apartment and I put some stuff in there. And then from there, I went to AU and I took some more stuff and I put it over there. Then from AU, I took some more stuff and I went to Germany, Berlin. And I'm like, I got to, so I had stuff all over the place. I'm fucking catching agita. I'm like, what the fuck? Germany, Crete, here, there.
yeah.
But for the most part, I want to touch up on Germany has a big circuit for English speaking comedy, man. It's in Alexanderplatz, which that's where I was staying at in Berlin. And yeah, man, it was fun. We had some huge crowds. I got promoted by Propaganda Comedy, and I was so excited because any comedians that are listening to this podcast, man, you got to go to Germany. And I'm looking forward to going to Norway and Spain. They got a lot of English speaking comedy in Europe. So the thing that we have brought to the table, like in Greece, they say stand up where two guys are on stage and they go back and forth. That's not real stand up.
Right,
Stand up is
yeah.
when you're by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Nothing else. You know what I
Right,
mean?
yeah,
But
yeah.
now they're actually doing that in Greece. They're doing some stand up, but it's in Greek. But for the most part, yeah, man. I mean, America, this country has brought stand up to life and all over the place. And now in Europe, they're really getting bigger on it. That's at least what I experienced.
Well, dude, we're gonna have to get a scene in Comic Sans in Germany. Go
Why
or
not, man?
take this
Why not?
overseas.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be a
listen. I mean, Comic Sans, and I'm not saying it because I play one of the characters. I love the fact that you know it's not all about comedy; it's about life,
right. Yeah,
and that's that. That you found out you have a daughter and all that. Beautiful,
right,
beautiful.
right.
It's brilliant,
Thanks.
man. It's fucking brilliant. You know what I'm saying? I love it. And you have the characters and you have the actors, and I'm super excited, man.
Yeah, man.
Is Tony Walker a character? I've seen him in a couple of clips.
Yeah, he plays his name's Tony in the movie too, and it's Tony the club owner. He plays the owner of the comedy club.
We should take a piece of his acting from the Connie show and have him like selling cheese on the sneak tip in Connie Comic Sans. Like he's a comedy owner that sells cheese. You
Yeah, we
sell.
could put something there with cheese. Yeah,
You look familiar. Do you sell cheese for a living, bro? Fuck you, man. I'm Tony Walker. I'm Tony Walker.
that's hilarious. I
Yeah.
might have a character say, I'm writing this down actually. I might have a character go back to selling cheese, will you? That's great. Or remember back in the day we used to sell cheese? I remember you back when you were young, Tony. You used to sell cheese.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't fuss. Call us. I remember
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah, he
great.
he knocked it out, man. When I got him and to play that role, and he got dead. I think his scene was like 2 o'clock in the morning or three, and he came out with a funny, he wears a green shirt and a green tie, whatever. I gotta look at it again. But he nailed it, man. He was perfect for that role.
Yeah,
That's one of the things that I really admire, and I like it. I liked when I'm writing the characters that I'm writing and the friends that I have as actors and comedians and kind of like bring it together and watch them do something that I've written.
yeah.
It's a good feeling, man. Well, you know that because you're doing it
It's the
yourself.
best, man, when you see your what you wrote come to life. It's just it's a crazy feeling that's yeah, insane. It's awesome when you see it, especially
Yeah,
when you see it all completed, edited and everything. It's up there, like you said, when we went to the premiere for the Connie show at that restaurant, and it was just it's awesome to see it all from conception to delivery, and that's not everybody could do that. Everybody has an idea for a movie, everybody has an idea for this or that. Not everybody does it or even finishes it,
Well,
you
I,
know?
I didn't tell you this. George was with me at the theater. We screened Scott Angels and we screened the Connie Show at a theater in Greece
Oh
while I
shit,
was doing
nice.
stand up in Piraeus. Piraeus is a very well known, respectable theater, and it's on. The show itself is a sizzle reel. It's on YouTube. It's called A Slice of Feta, and it's
Oh,
me doing stand up. So before I do stand up, they actually screened it, and then at the end we had a Q&A.
oh, nice, man.
So they got to see Scott Angels in Greece, man. A lot of people were talking about it. George Fuexis was with me, and so
Yeah,
we're excited. And when I was out there, like I was getting a lot of news and everything. And tomorrow's today, obviously being on
it's on Amazon, right?
Amazon and all
Yeah,
that, and a couple of people saw it, and because everybody knows Kelly LeBrock and Burt
right,
Young, the older people. I've
right.
had Greek guys come up to me, and they're like, "Hey, so you work with Kelly LeBrock, eh? Tell me, she's fucking beautiful, eh? The Greek fucking
Yeah.
mentality." Then his friend is like, "Forget her. He worked with Rocky." I go, "That wasn't Rocky. That's Burt Young." He goes, "Yeah, but he was in Rocky there, Burt Young." You know,
Paulie, yeah, God
yeah,
bless, rest in
Paulie.
peace
So it
for
was
him too.
exciting. So yeah, I mean, when I started like being interviewed out there in some newspapers, and because I was touring for a while in Greece. I was out there doing Athens. I did Rhodes. I was all over the place. It was exciting times, and I'm going back. And then I do more theater shows when I got back. So I was excited, and yeah, we screened Scott Angels and the Connie Show at a theater called Avler Duplex Theater. It was beautiful, man. There was
That's
a lot of
awesome.
people there.
Dude, that's awesome, man. And everything you're doing is all coming together, bro. Like all the hard work is paying off. And and God bless you, man. You're constantly going, constantly moving and shaking and making it happen, man.
Yeah, well, you know
Kudos.
what? I love it, and having friends like you that that identify with your writing, and you're a great, wonderful producer, you and Tony, and I'm looking forward to going back to Governors on the radio show and seeing when I get an opportunity. George is in Greece right now. He's working on the script that we're writing in Greece. He's out there. He sends his love.
Yeah, tell
And
George so what's up.
yeah, and and that's it. The grind continues, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm super excited. So it's always a pleasure. Thank you for having me on your show.
Yeah, man.
I don't even know. Are we getting close to I have
Yeah,
no idea.
yeah. We're wrapping it now. You're the best.
Oh,
Greg,
you're the
again,
best. You're the man, bro.
yeah, man, right back at you. And let everybody know where they can find you, follow you, and get all the updates
Yeah,
on everything you're
very
doing.
simple. They can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. It's very simple. Greg Kritikos. GregKritikos. Greg Kritikos, whatever they pronounce it. Kritikos. I'll be at Comedy in Harlem. Tonight I'm in Brooklyn. They're doing a big a fundraiser for I don't know if you remember he had a let me see, where's the poster? Um, Brooklyn Mike is going to be there also, and I spoke to Brooklyn Mike about you too, by the way. Down, we were discussing
Oh,
it.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and it's the first annual. It's for Laughaholics, the
Let,
comedy club in Brooklyn.
oh, okay,
Uh,
cool. Laughaholics.
yeah, yeah. Jay Bro, he passed away. But anyway, yeah, yeah, the owner. So they're doing something pretty cool. I'm gonna be there tonight, and there's gonna be a lot of great comedians there. Stapleton's gonna be there. Talent is gonna be there. Brooklyn Mike's gonna be there.
Wow, very
So
cool.
I'm in Brooklyn tomorrow night, but then I'm gonna be in comedy in Harlem in the usual Broadway. Monday Madness is the last Monday of the month.
Right.
We're there
Yeah.
with Nadia Smirnova. She's one of my co-producers, and that's it, man. We'll continue. So Greg Kritikos at wherever you want to find me. Very simple, and the grind continues, as I say,
Yes,
Don. You know
indeed.
what
The
I'm
grind
saying?
continues. We're gonna keep on. raising the waters, lift all the boats, man. We're doing it
Yeah,
together, my
rising
friend.
tide, man. Get that
Rising
tide
tide.
going, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's.
and I love the way you're writing, man. Your writing is good. I like
Thanks,
it, man.
man.
It's
And
really
right,
good, man.
right back at you, my friend. And yeah, look forward to working with you either next week or whenever we get greenlit for that location, man. So we're
You
standing
got it,
by.
Don. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you to all your friends and fans. Love you guys, man. Have a good night.
Greg Kritikos, everybody.
Peace.
Yes.
All right. Take care.